been asking me to be the best in the world. Why, Eddie, why? I'm better than you.
My eyes are red. I was in the back smoking a joint with Van Damme.
You know it.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, your boy Stevie Jobber.
And it's your boy Dangerous Duke.
And welcome back to the Dangerous Jobbers podcast, putting wrestling over one podcast at a time.
Yes, sir.
We're going to keep it all WWE because there's a rivalry happening very shortly. So we got to keep it sweet. We're just going to do WWE news. But before we get into it, Duke, tell them where they can find us.
Yes, sir. So if you guys have been here before, you guys know where to find us already. It's going to be like beating a dead horse, but we're going to do it for the new people who ain't never been here before. So for you new people, if you're listening to us, you already know one place you can find us, but here's the rest of them. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, basically anywhere you can stream music from, you can find us there. You can find us on our YouTube channel, Dangerous Jobbers Podcast. You can find us on Facebook, on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Dangerous Jobber and Dangerous Jobbers Podcast. And make sure you check out dangerousjobberswebsite.com because you'll find a lot of dope stuff over there, from monthly newsletters to wrestlers of the pod to former episodes. And if you're looking for some funny stuff as well, make sure you go check out TikTok, Dangerous Jobbers Podcast.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If you're a returning guest, you know what the next part is. If you're not, welcome to our Wrestler of the Pod segment this week, coming from Dangerous Duke.
Yes, sir. Been a long time since I dropped the Wrestler of the Pod, but this is somebody that I couldn't not show some love to. So obviously, you know, there's wrestling all over the world, be it in the United States, the UK, and South America, Mexico. There's wrestling all over, but you will also know that there's wrestling in Japan. And we're going to show some love to a Japanese wrestler today out of New Japan Pro Wrestling, current member of the Bullet Club, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Gabriel Kidd, a.k.a. Gabe the Kid, 26 years old, from the UK, just joined the Bullet Club earlier this year. And for being 26 years old, he's got some good accomplishments with him, man. He's a former Kamikaze Pro Wrestling champion, former Empire Wrestling Tag Team champion, and a New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team champion. And he cracked the PWI list this year, man. He hit the top 500, so got to show him some love. If you haven't seen this kid, make sure you check him out. Fresh out of the New Japan LA dojo. Definitely got a bright future ahead of him. So this week's Wrestler of the Pod, Gabe the Kid.
All right. Shout out to Gabe the Kid, man. Speaking of fast rising stars, Duke, tell me about one of the worst matches in history, Logan Paul, this past week.
So if you guys been living under a rock, you know Logan Paul, currently signed to WWE on a part-time contract, decided to venture into a world he hasn't been very successful in and step into the boxing ring once again. This time he has fought a man who, to be quite frank and be honest with you, hasn't fought in 5 years. He's been injured for the last 5 years, if you can believe that. He fought one Dylan Dennis, internet troll of mixed martial arts. And to everyone's joy, in the UK, Logan Paul came out on top, victorious in probably the worst boxing match anyone and their mom has ever seen. This was so bad, I streamed it in a way you shouldn't have streamed it, and I still would like a refund. 6 rounds of complete and utter BS. Dylan Dennis attempted a takedown on him. Logan Paul stuffed the takedown very well, I should say. Almost attempted a hammer fist while Dylan Dennis was on the mat. Just atrocious. We couldn't even get through the 6th round without security stepping in and breaking everything up. But Logan got a victory, his first professional boxing victory. And to top it off, when it comes time for the call out, you know, you stake your claim, you say what you want, you pick your next fight.
Hmm.
He doesn't go call out Floyd Mayweather again. He doesn't call out Conor McGregor. He doesn't even call out Tyson Fury. He calls out one, Rey Mysterio. Says, I'm an American boy and I would like that US title. So do we see a Logan Paul Rey Mysterio US title match on the horizon?
I think so.
You think so?
I think it's money. I think the opportunity was weird. I think the
Of all the times to call out somebody?
circumstances, yeah, I think the circumstances didn't really set the stage for that. But I mean, I guess that was a mid-card performance.
Now,
So, so
again, on the 2023 wrestling bingo card, I did not have Logan Paul calling out Rey Mysterio after a Dylan Dennis boxing match.
yeah, guy wins boxing match, calls out wrestling star. Didn't have that. Didn't have that written down.
Yeah, that wasn't on the bingo card, but hey, I guess this is the year of losing on bingo cards for wrestling, if that makes any sense.
Losing on bingo cards for wrestling, for real, for real. Um, Speaking of something else, I mean, somebody called it. This might have been predictable. It made all the sense in the world after the fact,
Mm-hmm.
but something we didn't see coming, at least for this SmackDown, was the result of the weird trade Cody had made. Because remember, Cody was supposed to have orchestrated this.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens has been traded to SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean, kind of odd.
Mm-hmm.
Not the not the move I was thinking they were gonna make. And to be honest, I'm kind of curious how where they go from here with this. Like what's the ramifications of this?
I mean, I think it was just a way to get away from the Sammy Kevin story without doing what they always do.
Yeah.
They had lost the championships, and it felt weird to just have them separate and go their separate ways on the same show.
Mm-hmm.
There was already kind of a line that was like the show's getting uncomfortable for him between Drew and Sammy and Jay, and
Mm-hmm.
so much of it revolving around trust issues and off of the point that I feel like he was trying to get to, which is I'm frustrated and I just want to fight somebody.
Yeah, it was definitely feeling like an odd pairing once Jay showed up. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but you could definitely tell like the segment wasn't all their segments weren't always there.
Yeah, but I think also as a character, Kevin was just kind of over it.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was just beyond whatever this is. And after they lost that tag match, I felt like if they continued to pursue, it might end up in just frustration. So it
Yeah.
probably was just better that Kevin switch shows and they just going on their own paths because Sammy at this point is a single star, really,
Mm-hmm.
so much as Kevin is or was before this.
Yeah, exactly.
So I feel like it's probably best for the both of them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I'm mad at the move. It's just it was
It's
kind of
out of
odd.
left field, yeah.
A little bit, yeah, but not completely terrible in that sort of sense.
Um, Going from a trade to a signing, Carlito is officially full time.
Yes.
How do we feel about Carlito full time back? Even though Shelton Benjamin got cut, and I would have liked for them to be in the same place at the same time, but it is what it is. Carlito is returned, not really as part of the LWO, but I guess like a friend, close friend of the
Yeah, like an ally in a sense, which I don't
ally.
mind. I don't if he was to come back, I wouldn't want him in the LWO completely. Sort of like that outside friend that you can call if you know you need the backup or something. Um, I'm happy to see him back. The dude looks good. He moves great. He still talks well. The theme music still has to grow on me a little bit, but even he said he's not the biggest fan of his theme music right now. Um, but you know, like I said, over time things change. It may grow on you. I'm interested
Mhm.
to see what they do with him because I feel like there's a lot of people he can mix it up with. One person I got my eye on for him to go at it with, believe it or not, is Austin Theory.
Mm,
I feel like him and Austin Theory can do something great, and then Grayson Waller being another one.
hmm.
I feel like you put Carlito and Waller in a ring together, that's going to be entertainment just all around.
I feel like they could take that. I feel like once this Ray thing is over, well,
Mm-hmm.
then again, if Logan Paul wins his US title, he taking it to Mania.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully that's not the case. But I would love to see a situation where by some twist of fate, Carlito becomes US champion or Grayson Waller becomes US champion and they take that to WrestleMania with him and Carlito. Grayson
Yeah.
Waller and Carlito on a big stage would be tremendous, the things they could do.
And believe it or not, even the Logan Paul thing isn't too far of a stretch either, because
Mhm.
I think you could write a great story between Carlito and Logan. You know,
Very true. Oh, very true.
Carlito being from Puerto Rico, Logan living in Puerto Rico. They can both
Mm.
make jokes about being Spanish. Like there's plenty of things you could do there. And then having Logan be the US
Oh
champ.
my God, have Logan invade a match and spit in his face with an apple.
Yeah, like mm-hmm.
He it writes itself.
Yeah, but I'm excited to see what they do with Carlito. I hope this time around, I think with him being older and being much wiser, he's a
Mm-hmm.
lot more smarter this go
Mm-hmm.
around.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested to see what he does.
And I think along with these additions, I mean, it just additions. All week, WWE's just been piling and piling and piling onto the this huge load of just wrestling greatness going on in this era.
Yes.
And I feel like they picked the perfect two people to generally manage that 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 influx of talent. And that being first off, a huge congratulations to Scrap Daddy Adam Pearce
Mm-hmm.
for becoming officially, finally, after all his years of hard work, the official general manager of Raw.
Thank you. Thank you.
Uh, uh, Congratulations to him, former NWA champion. And speaking of former NWA champions, what a way to lead in the new school of talent. SmackDown's general manager is the newly debuted Nick Aldis, the national treasure from NWA. Wow. I mean, I hope he's stepping in kind of a Shane role where he's generally a general manager, but every now and then
You gotta roll them sleeves up.
handle business and, with your own two hands.
Look, I'm gonna be completely honest here. I applaud both moves 10 times
Tremendous.
over. Like they would like nail on the head perfection. Starting on the Raw side of things, Adam Pearce, since he's been here, man, I loved everything he's done, everything he's been a part of with the Sonya Deville stuff, with the Bloodline stuff, just everything he's done. I'm a huge fan of. So to see him actually get his own spot to do his own thing on a specific day of the week, that's great. And then
Mhm.
on the flip side of the coin, you got to combat that with somebody else who, like you said, can be that authoritative figure, but can still get down to the nitty gritty when it needs to.
Mhm.
Bringing in Nick Aldis was a perfect move for them on SmackDown, and he already got the ball rolling. Dominic Mysterio, nice to meet you. I'm a big fan of your father. Like it was great, and
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
really glad. Like obviously, we all know who's in control with these decisions, but thank you for bringing in Nick Aldis and bringing him in the right way. I feel like now that you have Nick Aldis in, maybe there's a slight chance you can get one final stretch from a certain hardcore country female superstar, but somewhere down the line, it's possible.
Make some sort of amends.
Yeah, you can make some sort of amends. You know, maybe if you treat Nick Aldis the right way and do some good stuff, you can
Mhm.
have something else happen. But that's
We
for the
should
future.
we should be mentioning her later in the week as well. Stay tuned.
Yeah, but that's for the future to decide. We'll cross that bridge when the time comes. But I love the move. Really happy for Scrap Daddy and love the Nick Aldis signing. Just perfect.
Great creative, man.
Very.
Whoever's in full control now is really doing it. Really just
They
best foot
they
forward, man.
they know how to play the game.
Mm. And whose game is it? Speaking of our next point, that was a great transition. I go,
We didn't plan that, but God, that came out perfect.
that came out so perfect. Speaking of whose game it is, Roman Reigns has returned to SmackDown and interrupted John Cena, who gracefully acknowledged him as tribal chief and
As you should.
everything that he's done and how impressive he is, and that he has not earned a shot at Roman Reigns yet.
Nope.
But he knows somebody who has. And that man, with everybody saying, is L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
Duke, did you see the promo? Tell me you saw the promo.
Asking me if I saw that promo is a good way to get yourself referenced in the past tense.
How did you think he did, man? I thought he did a pretty solid job, and I think Roman did a pretty solid job acknowledging that he was doing a pretty solid job.
For the fact that it wasn't a full promo because of the attack midway through, it was
Mm-hmm.
good. It was very decent. It was very solid.
Strong
Like,
performance.
yeah, like you can tell LA Knight, you could tell he wasn't worried about being there with that bright light shining on him with the
Mm-hmm.
biggest star in the company
Mm-hmm.
today and the other biggest star of yesteryear right behind him. You could tell he wasn't scared or flinching from it. He held his own. He did a very good job. Um, and I feel like with these two, you could potentially pull some magic here. I think they might have jumped the gun a little early. I might have waited just a couple more months, but that's neither here nor there. It's happening. It's not like it's extra early, like SummerSlam early, but could have waited just a tad bit longer. But I'm not mad at it. I'm glad LA Knight's getting his moment in the sun. And you never know. He might build this momentum up really, really high, and he might actually get it done.
Um, Maybe eventually. I think I see some smaller hill first.
Well, no, obviously. I mean, I don't mean
But
like
this
right
is no,
away.
but I think he's gonna do amazing with Roman. I think they take this to Survivor Series possibly.
Hmm.
And I'm just glad that he was unfazed, that he did well, that he's been finding himself equal status no matter who walks through that curtain and stands on the opposite side of the ring with him.
Like
I mean,
everything he's done so far, he hasn't buckled under the pressure.
Miz, one of the best talkers in the business ever. John, one of the best talkers in the business ever. The Bloodline, two of the hottest ever. The Roman, one of the greatest of all time. I mean, and he keeps meeting. He keeps meeting that bar.
Hmm.
And I just love to see it, man. I love to see it. Speaking of Bloodline, Cody and Jay were defending their titles against previously named Grayson Waller and Austin
Austin
Theory,
Theory.
A Town Down Under. Terrible name, but we'll go with it.
It works.
I mean, I like them together. I just that name is. But you know what? For their egos, their name is just as off-putting as their egos are. So
Exactly.
it's just like, I guess it works. But they end up beating A Town Down Under, and as they're walking up the ramp, Roman's music hits. Bloodline comes out with Jimmy and Solo and Roman, and it's a little bit of a first face off between Jimmy and Jay.
Hmm.
Not a lot of words were exchanged on Jay's side. It was just kind of looks. Cody looking at Roman saying, "This is my show that you on right now." Just to, just to size up. And I think this goes to Jay and Jimmy. Jimmy and Solo versus Jay and Cody, because naturally, Roman's not challenging for those titles again. So it would definitely be Solo. Even though they got a lot to worry about. I mean, he told Solo to take out LA Knight, which didn't, I don't believe happened.
No.
So it could be a mixed thing, but I think it's LA Knight and Roman, and it's probably gonna be Jay and Cody versus Jimmy and Solo.
Mm-hmm. I
How
can see
my
that.
my my question is, how bad do you think Jimmy is gonna screw this up?
Super kick to Solo bad.
Oh, that's bad.
Like Solo holding someone, Jimmy gearing up for a super kick, and that person just moving and getting Solo clipped. And then crossroads to Jimmy for the one,
Mm,
2, 3. Like you kick your man's and you get pinned. Your
mm.
man's ain't even get pinned after he got kicked.
Because if you
That
notice,
bad.
yeah, because if you notice, they haven't had a segment where Roman has really addressed whether Jimmy is in,
Mm-hmm.
and at the same time,
No
at
one has
every
said it.
and at every turn, Jimmy has proven himself to either be overstepping, jumping the gun,
Or
or
just useless.
ultimately just being embarrassing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like you jumping LA Knight from behind it and getting tossed out of the ring. It's embarrassing, man.
You've been relegated to Sammy early bloodline. Early bloodline Sammy.
Yeah,
Just
like early
embarrassing.
bloodline Sam. At least Jay was respected.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, God, man, what is this, Jimmy? You look like a fool out here, man. They won't even dap you up, son. Like, they don't even.
You look like that freshman that's trying to hang out with the seniors, but it doesn't quite work out. You
But they
just
keep
walk.
you around because you run to the store for them.
Yeah, basically. Like you walk behind them, you don't walk with them, kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, that is terrible. But yeah, he's definitely gonna screw this up. Speaking of things, I hope they don't screw up. Our final point, we got to end on this. The biggest acquisition to WWE as of late, Jade Cargo
Mm,
in the flesh, not
mm.
just on NXT, but also on SmackDown, running into a queen, the queen herself, being introduced to the queen by none other than Triple H, God's gift of wrestling, with a simple, exchange. This is Charlotte. And of course, Charlotte knew who she was, and Jay tried to be polite. It's nice to meet you. And Charlotte said, "Yeah, it will be.
No, no, she said it's my pleasure. And she said it will be.
It will be." She says, "It's my pleasure," and she said, "It will be." That's right. That's right. We got to get
Mm,
the words right.
mm,
She said, "It
mm.
will be. It will be a pleasure to step in the ring with the opportunity." Now, when do you think that will be? And are you happy that they've decided to start with Charlotte? If that is the case, we don't even know if that's the case.
If it is, I'm very much happy. I am very happy. Jade Cargo is somebody we don't need to see what she can do because we already know what she can do.
Mm-hmm.
People like to pretend that there's nothing outside of the WWE, but there is stuff outside the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And to be quite frank with you, we're in what, October?
Yeah,
I'm saying WrestleMania.
you're saying WrestleMania.
WrestleMania date. WrestleMania is the singles match where it happens. And here's how I think.
Okay.
Charlotte wins the women's world title, SmackDown women's world title
Okay.
at the Rumble.
Mm.
Jade Cargill wins the Royal Rumble.
Jay Cargo wins the Royal Rumble.
Yes, like let that be her like first big showcasing. Just leave her backstage, let her do her thing. Let her just talk to people. She wins at the Rumble, pick Charlotte, we get it at Mania. Now, obviously, you can have her do some matches in between if you would like,
Mm-hmm.
but her and Charlotte do not need to
Touch,
have a match
no contact.
until Mania. I mean, even if you have contact, sure, but they don't need to have a match in ring until
Mm.
Mania.
Okay.
And that's how
Okay.
long I would hold that off for. Like you're keeping her around, she's on TV, you're keeping her fresh, you're keeping her from getting injured, but she's still doing her thing, she's still promoing, she's still being her.
I think even depending on when they do it in January,
Mm-hmm.
if it's like towards the end of January, don't even have her against any big names in January. If she starts to have them, if she has a match
Mm-hmm.
in January, because I'm sure they're gonna hold this in-ring debut as long as they can, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even if she doesn't have a match until January, don't even give her any big names,
Or
Like have it be an old school squash, not squash, but like just people like Meecham.
yeah, yeah.
No offense to Meecham, or uh
Chelsea Green,
Chelsea Green. Somebody with no expectation.
Dewdrop, Nikki,
Dewdrop. Oh, maybe dude. I don't like to use Dewdrop like that anymore.
Piper
But
Niven,
yeah, I don't. Well, I'm saying I don't like to use Piper Niven as enhancement anymore. I
Tegan
feel like
Knox,
Chelsea Green, Tegan Knox. Um, yeah, Chelsea Green, Tegan Knox.
Raquel.
They're even no. Raquel's considered big in their eyes, not in our eyes, but in their eyes. Um, but just small, smaller like
Natty.
Valhalla, Natty, just people that are expected to lose. Um, and then have her win the Royal Rumble, just so that when the first time we actually get to see what she can do is at WrestleMania.
And you know what? I would take it even as far as the final two people in the Rumble,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Jade and Nia Jax.
Jade and Nia Jax. Can I offer a final three?
Okay.
Bianca, Jade, and Nia Jax.
Yes. I was just saying Nia Jax. Bianca does match up better. I was just saying Nia Jax because Nia Jax is like dominating
No,
everybody right now.
I like Nia Jax as a final two.
Yeah.
I'm just saying let's throw Bianca in there for the final three and have that face off before Jax takes out Bianca,
Mm-hmm.
and then have the final two be Nia Jax versus Jade, and then it'd be like this huge thing. It's like, oh, Jade's good, but now, even not even like, oh, we've seen Jade. This will be Jade's first like real thing is can she beat Nia Jax to become the winner of the Royal Rumble? I like
Mm-hmm.
that. I like that a lot. Yeah. I mean, sky's the limit, We know Jade can do her thing in there, and we know they can hold this for as long as they need to because we know how good Jade is. And it's gonna
Exactly.
be when she gets in there with somebody like Charlotte, which
It's like this
I
is
don't even think she's been in there with anybody the caliber of Charlotte because they never really let her step into the AEW real women's tag divisions. Like, I mean, real
women's
women's
division.
single divisions. So she hasn't been in there. Had she been in there with Paige? Has she been in there with
No, but
Britt
again,
Baker? And
on the flip side of the coin, Charlotte really hasn't been in the ring with anyone quite like Jade. I mean, WWE's got
that
some
too.
athletic people.
That too.
Like you have your Biancas,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have your on the strength side, you have your Rhea Ripley's,
Mm-hmm.
but you haven't been in the ring with someone who's got Bianca's athletic ability and Rhea Ripley's strength ability.
At the same time,
That's literally what Jade Cargill is. She is like the hybrid of Bianca and Rhea Ripley.
she's a freaking comic book, man. It's
Like
unreal.
she's a mutant.
Yeah,
Storm ain't just a nickname. She's a mutant, bro.
she's real, bro. She's real.
And I'm ready for it. Like I will. I'm so excited for it. You can hold it till Mania, and I won't be mad.
Not at all. I'm on the same place. Yeah. So I mean, congratulations to Jade, man. I think that's all we got. Um, any lasting thoughts?
Um, I'm looking forward to Survivor Series because I'm hoping. I don't know if they're gonna do it or pull the trigger on it, but I would like to see a War Games match again.
I
But
would love to see that.
given these new general managers, we might be dealing with a brand supremacy thing again. But I would love to see another War Games match.
Is it weird that I'm not mad at it this time though? If it's like a SmackDown versus Raw War Games,
Now, see, yeah, I wouldn't be mad at it. As long as there's a War Game somewhere in there, I would be very happy.
but it has to be like an organic, like old school, like Pierce is getting together a team that has nothing to do with
Yes,
the main storylines,
yes.
and Nick is getting a team together that has nothing to do with the main storylines.
Yes, like back when it was Bischoff and Teddy Long, or even when it
Mhm.
was Kurt and Shane.
All right,
Like,
so my lasting thoughts, because we got to get out of here. The game is starting, or is about to start.
mhm.
My lasting thought is one. I saw Paul Heyman on NXT talking to Ava, which means they didn't actually release her, or they released her and signed her to a new deal, which is weird. Um, hopefully that's a thing. That's an Easter egg for later, and they weren't just teasing stuff because they had people watching. And two, Pillman is set to debut. Pillman officially is in this weird angle if you get to go see it. But Pillman is debuting. That's what I'm concerned about. He's not distancing himself from his father, but he is, but he's not. So I'm excited to see him debut. That's my lasting thought. And I think hopefully if we get the chance, we'll talk about Bound for Glory later during the week.
Yes, absolutely. I'm here for that.
Shout outs.
Shout outs for me this week. We just gonna keep it short and sweet, man. I'm gonna just shout out the arcade family. Everybody who's been jumping on the streams with us during these pay-per-views and during the weekends. You got Arcade Pop, Mr. Awesome, Mad Hatter Pops, Johnny Knight. Make sure you check out all them dope people on YouTube and on Instagram if you haven't, because some great people, some great wrestling content.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you check us out every weekend, every Saturday.
Hey man, I don't want to feel cheap, but I think my shout out this week is gonna just be MLW. They just had Slaughterhouse, and it was just an amazing, amazing, amazing card, and I was crushed that I could not be there to attend it. Things just didn't fall into place like I wanted them to, and I'll have to catch them when they come back. But if you get the time, Fight TV, go check it out. It was an amazing, amazing, amazing card. Filthy Tom Lawler returns to fight the leader of the Boomaye Fight Club, Alex Kane, to which Matt Cardona and Alex Kane brawl after the match. Jacob Fatu fights Minoru Suzuki. Just a ton of amazing matches.
Ricky Shane Page was doing this
Ricky
thing.
Shane Page retained the National Openweight Championship. Ricky Shane Page has been on tear. Akira oddly ended up losing a wrestler of the pod. Shout out to him. Just go check it out when you get the chance. That's going to be my shout out because I know they tore the house down in Philly, and it's a shame I wasn't able to be there.
Before we log off, one more shout out because you sent it to me, and we're probably going to talk about it later in the week, but I'm going to say it now. Another shout out to Oleg Prudius, aka Vladimir Kozlov.
Oh yeah,
popping up on Impact Wrestling and assisting Dango with the Call Your Shot Gauntlet.
Yeah,
and he is officially the number 20 entrant. So shout out to Oleg with the new good look, new good character. Do your thing, Kozlov.
Love to see it.
But guys, that's it for this week. You know where to find us if you haven't heard already, be it Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, YouTube, Facebook, Dangerous Jobbers Podcast website.com. And you can find us on TikTok as well. Go see some of that funny stuff Stevie be dropping. But that's it for this week. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you guys stay up. Make sure you guys stay blessed. And as always, stay dangerous.
People have been asking me to be the best in the world. Why, Eddie? Why?